coming at you. The Free Lunch Comic News back at you again for another episode. Little issues here with the audio, but I got to figure it out.
Yay.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
All
Matt's
right.
here. Tim's here. Mark is here. We're here with a whole new show.
I was looking
Episode
for a
9.
fourth guy. Did you look around? I'm like,
It's a ghost.
some
There's
other
a ghost.
dude.
There's one
There's
more
a
guy.
ghost in here?
The PvP guys.
Left over from Monday's podcast. that we
Kicking
had
around
on
an
Monday.
idea of doing a paranormal investigative show,
Yeah,
pitching it to CBS.
sure. Sounds great.
Just kidding, JK.
So we have tons of stuff for you today. It is the day after Halloween. Hope everyone had a nice and fun Halloween. Hope everyone got the candy they wanted.
Oh, yes.
We got the comic news coming at you next. Convention report, which will give you all the cons going on in the month of November. We got a Storytime with Uncle Matt and a Q&A session where you, the fans, can get in touch with us through Facebook Live as we're doing the show. And you can ask Matt any question you want about comic books, and he will answer it.
You can ask
Honestly-
other people stuff, too.
Honestly and kindly, he will answer it.
I will.
Honestly and kindly.
Always kind.
And then after that, we have the Comic Watch. And then, of course, as we end every show with the Free Lunch Menu, where we tell you everything that's going on over at Free Lunch Studios.
Right over in Simsbury or Terriffill, Connecticut.
Yes,
if you
our
want to be
gracious
specific.
sponsor and overlord. So first off, we're going to take a quick break and we'll tell you a little bit about the Monday Night Jam, which just happens to happen at the Free Lunch Studios in Terriffill. So we'll be back with your comic news in just a bit. This is the Free Lunch Comic News.
Come to the Terriffill Mill in Simsbury, Connecticut for the Monday Night Jam. Monday Night Jams are creative outlets for all ages. Kids from 7 to 13 come to the Free Lunch Studios in the Terriffill Mill from 5 to 6. Adults, 6 to 8:30. Come in, network, work with fellow talents, write, or just talk. Free Lunch Studios, Terriffill, Connecticut.
Welcome back to Free Lunch Comic News. It is now time for the part of the show that this is all named after, the news. And I'm going to start. So here we go with some news out of the folks from Marvel. Over at CBR, they're reporting Punisher Dressed for War. Matthew Rosenberg outlines Frank Castle's Marvel Legacy mission. The Punisher has never been timid with his firepower. Still, give the man a bigger weapon and you can trust he'll find a bigger target. So goes the premise of The Punisher number 218. On November 15th, Frank Castle dons the War Machine armor and heads off to battle. Writer Matthew Rosenberg and artist Guiu Villanova.
Hey, yo, Guyu.
Guiu? G-U-I-U. I apologize if I butchered your name. Villanova introduced legendary soldier to Marvel Legacy and a classic character pulling the strings of war. They were able to talk to Matthew Rosenberg, field striping his typewriter, and asked him a few questions about the upcoming story. Rosenberg is quoted saying he thinks the biggest thing and maybe what makes this so fun will be who the Punisher is at his core. Frank Castle, more than every other character in the Marvel Universe, does not change. He remains the Punisher when he fights Kingpin, and a Punisher when he fights Daredevil. At the end of the world, in space after death, as a monster, he remains a constant. So taking a persona and what that means and changing things around him, that feels exciting to him. There is no greater force in the Marvel Universe than Frank Castle's desire to punish people, and they're going to give him the means to do that on a bigger scale. So doing that, but making it still feel like the Punisher and feel fresh all at once, that's the challenge and the opportunity, Rosenberg says. We have this idea, one that I think seems like the logical next step to Frank's war, and they want to make folks feel comfortable and shocked all at once. It should be fun. If you want more about that interview, you can go to, I believe it's marvel.com, has the full interview. You can check that out. And next up will be Matt. He's got some DC news.
Well, actually, no. I wanted to just add on, so that news bite, that's not related to the Platoon series that you have flagged here.
Different book.
I know that you've got this flagged for Comic Watch.
Yes.
Okay, nice pick. I commend you on that. So this is an altogether different series.
This is the actual Punisher story that Marvel Legacy takes over.
So this is not
That's
part
a
of
separate.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, and Tim's got the DC news next. DC news next.
All right. So here's a little article talking about the debut of Red Death's crazy Batmobile in the newest metal series. If you thought the Batman Who Laughs bizarre Batmobile was impressive, you ain't seen nothing yet. The Red Death's Flashmobile gives the dark multiverse's Joker/Batman hybrids a ride a serious run for its money. Oh, by the way, spoilers, apparently, for Justice League number 32, which is the latest book for Dark Knight's metal Bats Out of Hell storyline. All right.
Okay, thanks for letting everybody
Yeah,
know.
sorry. So heads up.
No,
Tune
that's
out for
good.
like 4 minutes. 3 minutes? 3 minutes.
Yeah. So
Introduce.
for your folks who aren't, if you wanted to go to the CBR website where this article comes from, and you guys can see that's the actual
Oh, wow.
Flashmobile right there.
That's crazy.
And then if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, go to the website, but just cover your eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Introducing Justice League number 32, the latest chapter in Bats Out of Hell. DC Comics' current Justice League / Dark Knight metal crossover arc, Batman, the Red Death's dark multiverse vehicle of choice, is more than just a stylish way for the evil Bruce Wayne to ride around the streets of Gotham City. As he explains to Earth Zero's Barry Allen, not only does he have experience killing Flashes, he's figured out how to tap into the Speed Force to fuel his diabolical, twisted Batmobile.
Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
It does.
That does sound pretty cool.
What's more, the Red Death has applied his extra-dimensional technology to more than a single machine. When Barry taunts that he can outrun even a Speed Force-fueled Batmobile, the Red Death responds by unleashing a fleet of similarly equipped vehicles on the crimson-clad Justice Leaguer.
Ooh.
Nice. Whether he's controlling them himself or if they're being piloted by his Earth's versions of Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, etc., remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. He's determined to notch another speedster's death on his belt. Spooky.
Ooh.
And we have a nice little talk with Liam Sharp, who's the artist. for
Very
this book.
talented.
Very talented. If there's one thing that I get a little freaked about, it's drawing cars. He discussed how he approached the Flashmobile a little bit. It was the one thing that I couldn't draw as a kid, but when I got the brief about what this car was going to look like, I got excited. I really enjoyed Mad Max Fury Road and what kind of feel as a kid. I was also pretty into custom cars, so it wasn't like just drawing a normal car, it was totally different. I couldn't wait to start and had a blast. I think it shows. It was a lot of fun.
It definitely came out really cool looking if you see on that
It's
website.
very cool. And
Or when you get the book, it's a really intense looking car.
the Mad Max influence is very
You
clear.
can definitely
Yes.
tell. You definitely see that.
It's really
Yep.
cool.
Absolutely.
He says, I love the Red Death's mask. I tried to echo it in the grill of the car. I was hoping that you could see a DNA thread through the design. The Wonder Woman one, called The Merciless, is fun too because he's literally a knight. I wanted to actually go more barbarian with him.
Yeah.
But DC editorial asked me not to mess around too much with the design. Of course.
DC doesn't want anything to do with a barbarian. What are you going to expect?
They're publishing him right now.
They're the only ones.
They're the
publishing.
only ones publishing him right
They don't
now.
have anything to do with anything that looks barbarian. Though. That's basically what they just said in that.
That's weird.
Well,
Weird city.
Yeah. So if anyone
We left a long
wants
ass
that
comment.
latest Bats Out of Hell
We left
series,
a long comment on there.
I see it. I don't want
Justice.
to interrupt him, though.
Oh, he's done.
Justice League number 32 on the shelves now.
Yeah.
Now
There
he's
you go.
done.
Yeah.
Angie, if you could present your question later on, we'd love to address it. That'd be awesome, because we're not going to be able to go back and see it.
That's true.
I'll read it to you guys. Hang on.
Okay. You can move the microphone so you can
She'd
see.
love to know our opinion on the Flash's Justice League movie suit versus the suit
Stupid.
that he has in it. Okay, so there you have it. The suit on the TV show. All right.
The suit in the TV show is way more like the comic book.
I do have
The
some
suit in
thoughts
the
on
movie
that,
is
so we
just
can-
dumb.
All right, we'll get back to that, Ange. So, Ange is our satellite reporter coming to us from Texas.
Texas.
Yeah,
Everything's bigger in Texas.
yeah. Okay. Image Comic News. Image Comics to publish an anthology to raise money for the Las Vegas shooting survivors. They announced yesterday, actually, that they're going to do a Where We Live anthology. All proceeds from the anthology will be donated to the GoFundMe, benefiting the survivors of the Las Vegas mass shooting that claimed 59 lives and left over 500 injured. The anthology is being curated by J.H. Williams III, Wendy Wright Williams, Scott Alley, Dave Stewart, Eric Stevenson, a publisher at Image Comics. So you got a lot of different talent from all over the industry, which is pretty awesome. J.H. Williams is a big guy over at DC. You got Scott Alley, who I don't know if he's with Dark Horse still, and I know Dave Stewart's done a lot with Dark Horse. So this is pretty nice. And obviously Eric Stevenson over at Image. Image's press release included a statement from Williams, who spearheaded the project. It says here, on October 1st, 2017, Las Vegas, Nevada suffered the worst mass shooting in modern American history. It felt like something needed to be done to help in a unique way. A week passed before the shock cleared enough to decide that I wanted to help create a benefit book project for the survivors. With this book titled Where We Live, our hope is to not only help those in need after this tragic event, but also to somehow start a real conversation on avenues for preventing this sort of violence from happening again in the future. The anthology will include a variety of artwork meant to start an ongoing conversation about compassion in society, mental health stigmatization, gun violence, and the importance of fostering conversations about the above issues. Excuse me. The anthology will also touch on the history of the Second Amendment that allows American citizens to own firearms, as well as its impact on gun owners and the role of the NRA in the United States. So the Las Vegas shooting left 59 people dead and over 500 injured. They talk a little bit about, one researcher has estimated the combined cost of the victims' medical bills could exceed $600 million.
That's crazy.
This comes at a time where the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services has announced a reduced 2018 enrollment period for the Affordable Care Act, as well as a 90% funding reduction to the marketing budget for the ACA. This is the first announced comic book work from the former Dark Horse Comics editor-in-chief, Scott Alley. Okay. Since he was announced as leaving that publisher in late September. How come we didn't report on that?
I think it was very well kept hush hush.
I guess so. In October 2015, Alley became embroiled in a controversy regarding a reported history of misconduct.
Maybe that's why we didn't report about it.
Well, yeah, wow. Information on where to donate and how to send submissions for the Where We Live anthology will be announced soon. We're going to dig a little deeper for that other news bite there. Very interesting stuff. So there you have it. That's going to be from Image Comics, and we'll look into that too. And what we can do is we can share maybe the link for the GoFundMe at our news site. Cool. In other news, just to let you know, if you like watching the Facebook live feed of the Free Lunch Comic News, we're also on YouTube.
We are.
Yeah, and it's the pure, unfiltered, uncensored show.
Yes.
So we have the podcast at the Geek as part of the Geekonomics podcast network, and then we also have the live feed, which shows up at Free Lunch Comic News Facebook page. I know it's on mine. It's on the Free Lunch Studio Facebook page.
Yes.
And you and your friends are more than welcome to share it. We love it when you share it. And now it's also on YouTube.
Wow.
Technology. Spreading like crazy. So
like a virus, even.
I think that covers us for the news.
It does. We're going to take a quick break, talk a little bit about Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, that's
which
tomorrow.
Happens tomorrow over at the Free Lunch Studios.
Yep.
And I'll be back with my favorite part of the show, the Convention Report. We're going to tell you about all the conventions going on around the world.
Across the country.
Sometimes
we'll get a worldwide in there.
Unless you get a worldwide in there by accident.
And Italy.
I kind of looked.
I edited it this time to make sure there was no around the world stuff. So all across these great United States.
Just a quick drive
conventions.
over to Australia.
Yeah.
All right,
skip
cool.
and a jump. So we'll be back with that in just a bit. It is the Free Lunch Comic News.
Stay tuned. Every Thursday night at Free Lunch Studios in Terriffill, Connecticut, we open the doors to our friends for drinking, gameplay, networking, and our favorite beverage. Come on by Free Lunch Studios in the Terrafil Mill for drink and draw, drink and game, or even drink and learn. Every Thursday night, 7 to 9:30, hosted by Matt Ryan. Come on down, freelunchcomics.com.
Hey, welcome back to Free Lunch Comic News.
Hey, I heard we were back.
We are back.
Oh, look at that. And everybody's there.
Science,
Hey, Jim O'Reilly's
technology.
watching. Get to work, Jim.
It's now time for my favorite part of the show. Listen to Matt talk over top of rap music. It is time for the Convention Report.
Hit it. All right, it's going to start off right away. We're going to go across to the other side of the country. There's a show this weekend, actually starting Friday, in Seattle, Washington. It's the ICAF, the International Comic Arts Forum.
That sounds fancy.
No venue given, so sorry.
Well, it's a forum, so it's all over the place.
It's all over. Saturday only in Wilmington, Delaware. It's the Underground Comic Con. Don't tell.
It's underground. It's a speakeasy.
November 3rd through the 5th in Tucson, Arizona, the Tucson Comic Con. I have an address here of 5120 South Julian Drive. So if you're listening in Arizona,
It's at some guy's house.
yeah, go ahead on over for 3 days. So it's a full out party.
Just hang out at his place.
This
$10 bag. It's great.
oh, I got that wrong. The Seattle show is more than 3 days.
It's 2.
Oh no, it is 3 days. Sorry. What is this? This goes to the 5th?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Green Bay, Wisconsin, November 4th. It's the Green Bay Comic Book Convention. If that's really on Sunday, are anybody going to go? Is anybody going to go to that? I know they're all watching football.
Well, the Packers game.
Yeah. Also, November 4th.
But if the Packers are paying away, then they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, and didn't he just get hurt?
And Aaron Rodgers is hurt, so
yeah,
they suck
he's
anyways.
hurt.
What's the point?
November 4th, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the Vegas Valley Comic Book Festival at the Las Vegas Clark County Library. Hey, you know what?
What?
Library shows are pretty awesome.
They are, because they're in libraries.
Yeah, Tim just did one.
Did.
Tim
There's
just
already
did one
books
in
there.
It
Waterbury.
was crazy.
It was crazy.
They have books there.
Said
Now
some
you
kid-
take them for free.
Some kid rammed him up on stage. They jumped him on stage and
Yeah.
pushed stuff
I got
over.
jumped.
He got jumped by an
children.
8th grader. It was crazy. It was
Was it a-
insane.
Was it a female?
It was a turf war
Is it
over the library.
It's pretty awesome. Roanoke, Virginia. It's the Roanoke Valley Comic Con. That's November 4th as well, and that's at the Tanglewood Mall. Also November 4th, Morgantown, North Carolina. It's the Morgantown Comic Con. That's at the Colette Street Recreation Center.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, also in Seattle is the Short Run Comics and Art Festival, November 4th.
That's kind of cool.
Washington's got a lot going on. November
It's
4th
happening
and
joint.
5th.
It's happening joint, man.
Tacoma, Washington, Jet City Comic Show at the Tacoma Convention and Trade Center.
Man.
Same weekend, Akron, Ohio, Akron Comic Con. It's at the Quaker Station at 135 South Broadway Street.
LeBron James will be there.
He will?
I don't know. He's from Akron.
You better be careful. You start saying stuff
He's
like
from
that.
Akron. Who
They're going to
knows?
come over here. They're going to be like, oh, I heard of
Who
LeBron
knows?
James.
He might be there. Who knows? He's from Akron.
He's in Cleveland or something.
That's the same town, basically. It's just like a suburb of Cleveland.
November 4th and 5th as well. A lot of comic shows this weekend. Austin, Texas, MondoCon.
Mondo like chili.
It's at the Marchese Hall of Marchesa Hall and Theater.
Mondo no need no badge.
Same weekend, Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City NerdCon.
I like that.
I don't
name.
like that.
I like that name.
Ooh, we've got
I like
divided cast here.
I like the name. I like something named after a rocket. I think that's cool.
Yeah, Rocket
Well,
City
rocket
does
part's
sound
cool.
cool.
The nerd part is the part.
Yeah, I don't like that part. That could change.
November 5th, Rockford, Illinois. It's the Rockford Comic Book Convention at the Holiday Inn at 7550 East State Street.
All they do is talk about the TV show Rockford Files.
A lot of people don't know what you're talking about right now, but thanks.
No problem.
Hey, Mark. November 5th, Albany, New York.
Hey, guess what? I'll be there.
You will be at the Albany Comic Con. If you say hi, we'll say hi back.
Yeah, if you can know who we are.
It's the Radisson Hotel Albany.
How's anyone gonna know who we are? Oh, you'll have your
I'm going to point at
lunch
you and
shirt out.
scream your name the whole time.
you'll have your free lunch shirt on. I don't have one yet, so I won't have anything.
I was kind of thinking of not wearing the shirt that day,
Should I go with shirtless that day?
or just not wear the uniform.
Oh,
Steve Canaris, this is for you. A big shout out to my friend down in Baltimore, November 5th. It's the Lutherville, Timonium, Maryland area. It's the comic book and non-sports card show at the Radisson Hotel, North Baltimore.
wow.
That is the 5th, my friend.
I will say I mentioned that you not wearing a shirt, and a lot of thumbs up one happened on the little Facebook
Thanks
Live
for
there.
made you look, right? November 5th, Daytona Beach, Florida, Daytona Beach Comic Convention at the ICI Center. Also November 5th, what? Albany, New York, Albany Comic and Toy Show.
It's the same show, it's just two different names.
Oh, and there's the trick, folks.
I learned that because their websites, they have two websites,
They do?
but it's for the same thing.
Okay. November 10th and 12th, we've just jumped to next weekend, Durham, North Carolina. It's the North Carolina Comic Con. Gabby, if you're listening, I hope you can get to that one. That's at the Durham Convention Center. Dear Gabby, what a great talent she is.
Durham, home of the Bulls.
November 10th through
Great
the 12th, Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Kansas City Comic Con at Kansas City Convention Center.
Ooh.
Oh, take a deep breath. November 10th through the 12th, Providence, Rhode Island. It's the Rhode Island Comic Con.
Who
It's
isn't
at-
going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con?
Seriously, Rhode Island Convention Center. That'll be a packed one, folks.
I'll be there on the Saturday.
Are you really?
Yep. I'm going with my boys from Angry Geeks.
Be sure to say hi.
I'll stop by. You'll be at the Simple Comics booth.
Yes, I will be with Chris
Are you the
Fazekas.
special guest at that booth?
I will be the special guest at that booth.
Oh, can't wait.
I'll be the special guest running the booth on Friday.
yeah. While Chris is out buying stuff.
Well, he's got to work. He's working Friday, and Tim's going to be working at the Hartford Open Studio Tour that same weekend. So if you're going to stay local to Connecticut, you could go and visit the free lunch booth over at
Are you staying over that weekend? Or are you driving back and forth?
I don't feel. I don't want to go back and forth. How about that?
Okay.
Are you staying over? You're only going for one day,
That's
right?
what I say. If you're going on Saturday, we could ride together.
I'm not, so that's great.
You're not going Saturday?
No, I'll already be there, I think.
Oh, okay.
November 11th, South Bend, Indiana. It's the South Bend Comic Book Convention.
Notre Dame Con.
No location given. Also the same day, Wheaton, Illinois, it's DuPage Comic Con at the DuPage County Fairgrounds.
Oh, DuPage.
Or is it DuPage?
I'm pretty sure it's DuPage County,
DuPage.
I don't know if you look at it there.
DuPage
it
County?
sounds like
Illinois.
maybe, I don't know.
DuPage.
DeKalb. I don't know.
Stuff from
I've
Illinois.
heard people
Tell us
say
what it's about.
DuPage.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right. November
All right, well,
11th and
we're from
12th.
Illinois. So.
Usually on cops.
Mount Clemens in Michigan. It's the Fantastic Con, Mount Clemens, at the Gibraltar Trade Center. Same weekend, Palm Springs, California. It's Palm Springs Comic Con. And
I've heard some
also,
awesome ways of finding out what names are, but
huh?
the first time I ever heard someone say, "I know that town because I heard it on Cops before."
I did.
That was awesome.
The
That's
DuPage
cool.
County
You can
Sheriff's
learn a lot
Office.
from cops.
County Sheriff's Office.
You can learn a lot from cops. You, can, you know,
I guess so.
if I'm ever going to get arrested, I'll make sure my shirt is off.
Yeah.
You gotta hide underneath a kiddie pool.
Yeah, I'll have one shoe missing.
I gotta find you under a kiddie pool. That's where it always ends up.
Is that, yeah? Or sandwiched between two
Yeah.
mattresses.
Yeah.
Let's see, Phoenix, Arizona. It's the Phoenix Fan Fest. That's November 11th and 12th, as well as the Saratoga Springs, New York, Saratoga Comic Con, and that's at the Saratoga Springs City Center.
Ooh, nice town, Saratoga Springs.
Frederick, Maryland has Schaff Promotions, Frederick, Maryland Comic Con. That's November 12th, and that's at the Clarion Inn, Frederick Event Center.
Ooh,
November 17th through the 19th in Memphis, Tennessee.
Manfish.
It's the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
Ooh,
That does
fantasy.
sound cool. Memphis Cook Convention Center down in Tennessee.
Mm.
Overland Park, Kansas. It's the Kansas City Comic Book Convention at the Doubletree Hotel over on College Boulevard. That's November 18th.
Ah,
Same day, Fort Myers, Florida. It's the Southwest Florida Comic Con at the Holiday Inn Fort Myers Airport at Town Center.
fly in and fly right back out.
November 18th, Annandale, Virginia, Schaff Promotions Comic Book and Non-Sports Card Show over at the Annandale Fire Station. I heard that show's going to be hot.
Oh, Shaw
We need one of those air horn sound effects.
I have one of those on my phone.
Do you really?
I do. Do you want to go?
No. November 18th and 19th in Livonia, Michigan. It's the Extravacon. That's a clever name.
Extravacon.
It's doesn't have a location here, so you're gonna have to Google it, kids.
It's extravaganza.
Same weekend
Extravaganza.
in Edison, New Jersey. It's the New Jersey Comic Expo at the New Jersey Convention and Exposition Center. Same weekend in Lebanon, Missouri. Lebanon Comic Con. That's the 18th and the 19th. The 19th, Omaha, Nebraska hosts the Omaha Comic Book Convention. You're going to have to look it up, kids. I don't have a venue for that. Tom Fiore's show is that same day, November 19th, in New Haven, Connecticut at the Annex YMA Club. It's the New Haven Comic and Collectible Spectacular. If you're in the Connecticut area, go say hi to Tom. He's a good friend, big Star Wars fan. November 19th,
Are you
Columbus.
going to be there for it?
Huh?
Are you going to be there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
November 19th, Columbus, Ohio, the Buckeye Comic Con at the Courtyard Columbus West. Same day, the 19th, Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania, it's the Water Gap Comic Fest at the Mount Bethel Fire Company.
Wow.
19th, over at Scranton, Pennsylvania, it's the Scranton Comic Con
Scranton Con.
at the Radisson Lackawanna Station Hotel.
Sponsored by Dunder Mifflin.
That's what she said.
Nice.
What a shame.
Oh my God. If you're watching the Facebook feed, you'd see all of our heads just drop.
Scranton has more going on than the office, you know.
It's true.
They have
It's the cousin of Wilkes-Barre.
trains.
That's where Joe Biden came from.
Yeah.
It's also a cousin of like Wilkes-Barre, isn't it? It's like a sister city.
Yeah, it's very good.
Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. That's like
I know
always.
nothing about
Yeah.
Scranton.
Yep. It's Claremont, Florida on the 19th. It's the Claremont Comic Con. And that's at the Claremont Performing Arts Center. Sounds like a nice place. November 25th and 26th in St. Charles, Illinois. It's the Chicago Pop Culture Con at the Pheasant Run Resort.
Yeah, pheasants.
Pheasant Run Resort / Mega Center.
Ooh, Mega Center.
That's a little bit bigger. November 25th through the 26th in Richmond, Virginia. It's the VA Comic Con at the Clarion Hotel Central. And my last show that I'm going to talk to is November 26th at the Plainville VFW over in Plainville, Connecticut. It's the Cliffs Con. It's Plainville. That's November 26th. All those shows that are on the 26th, that's the Thanksgiving weekend. So be on the lookout for that. So if you're going to go to your local convention center, bring family members. They may have a good time.
They may.
And that's my last entry for the comic report.
That was a full-on comic report.
Oh!
Man, everything you need to know for the month of November for all your comic con needs.
And if there are no if there's shows
Comic
that
News.
you're not hearing about and you want us to announce it, or if you host your own show, let us know about it.
Yeah.
Because we'd be happy
Not
to
everything's
share.
on the website that we go to rip the stuff off of, so we got to find other places.
That's true. Or you could just let
But
us know.
speaking
yourself.
of CliffsCon, which is coming up at the end of this month, which now we're in November, November 26th, here's a little information about CliffsCon and where you can check that out. So we're back with Storytime with Uncle Matt and a Q&A session. So be back in just a bit. It is the Free Lunch Comic News.
Cliffs Cons of Plainville, Connecticut. Looking for that hard-to-find comic or that really rare toy, or maybe you're just looking to save a couple bucks on your comic collection? Come on down to the Plainville VFW almost every month of the year to enjoy one of the coolest comic shows around. Cliffs Cons of Plainville. Only 99 cents to get in, food, donuts, coffee, while supplies last.
And we're back here on the Free Lunch Comic Book News, where it is now time for a segment that we've come up with when we don't have anything else to talk about. We make Matt tell us stories about life as a comic book writer at different cons and different places. So we're going to turn it over to Uncle Matt is going to tell us a little bit of stories about the world of comic book artists.
You know what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about the Halloween, how we celebrate Halloween around the office.
Yes.
It's a good story. It ends. It's kind of bittersweet.
Okay.
But I'm getting over it.
Emotional about it already. Getting emotional. He's pulling tissues out of his
That was for the Facebook people.
Yeah, that was.
I love Halloween. I know a lot of people do, and every year we run the King of Monster Mountain tournament, and we did that. We did that Thursday night for the drink and draw, and it was a spirited game. And we actually had this guy David, who came back to win his second time. He didn't win last year, but he won it the year before.
I had to let Tim listen to the music we're playing in the background.
You can't hear it.
You can't hear it.
It's real nice.
It's very moving.
It's got him way more.
It really sells how much you love Halloween.
Oh, it's just so much. So we did the King of Monster Mountain tournament. It was great. Chris Vazakis was in there, and he gets so riled up.
He gets really.
He really does.
I've heard he gets really intense.
Oh my god, yeah.
I watched a little bit of the Facebook Live, and I only watched about 5 seconds into it. Chris was already yelling about something, so I knew it.
It's a very spirited game.
I get sense it gets very intense,
but it's fun. It's very competitive. Well, they're competing. They're competing to win prizes. So it's a good time.
For
and this
something.
young lady, Kelsey, she did really
What do people get if they win? What do you give them?
I let them choose from different prizes. So,
what were some of the prizes this year?
Batman White Knight, which was one of the books we reviewed.
Yep.
Unholy Grail #1.
Ooh.
Motor Crush #1. Mm-hmm. And a horror movie, The Witch, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
The two V's.
The two
witches.
V Witch movie. Yeah. So it was good. A very spirited game. I was the only one drinking, which was odd. No, Josue. I gave a drink to Josue.
Oh, Josue. Yeah.
So we did a King of Monster Mountain, and then we had Zombie Night the next night.
Yeah.
And that was very well attended, packed house, and I taught the students how to draw severed limbs and poor posture. It was a good time. And then Saturday we did the King of Monster Mountain tournament again for kids.
Is that a tough thing to learn how to not draw correctly, kind of with posture? Well, that's a big thing in your.
It's still rooted in.
When you're training thing, when you do the training things, you're very adamant about the posture thing.
Posture is big.
So is that a tough thing for them to learn, to go from used to having to draw good posture, then forcing it to be a bad posture? Is it more difficult? I'm asking.
I think that I understand where you're going. A lot of people, when they get stuck and they're just drawing people just standing perfectly rigid all the time.
Yeah.
With the upright posture, I think that it can be a tough transition. But once they get used to it, I think it does a lot for them.
Sorry, just trying to expand upon that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
what you were talking about.
But no, I think if they start drinking the Kool-Aid, and they start kind of buying into what I'm trying to give them, in certain places, I'll run into challenges where people are like, oh no, that's not really how it works, and it's like, okay, go read a drawing book.
All right.
I've found slouching to be a fun kind of drawing exercise.
Absolutely.
Because the body does a lot of really interesting things.
Slouching while drawing, or just drawing people slouching?
Yeah, both. And no, people slouching. I slouch all the time. That's a problem. But
it's because you're a tall guy.
Yeah, but drawing people that are slouched, there are things you see coming forward or moving back that you never really think about.
It's true,
and it's interesting.
It's good. It adds a lot to what you're trying to convey.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So we did Zombie Night. We did the King of Monster Mountain for the kids, and we had two sisters working together.
So you saw me, yeah.
And they did very, very well.
Well, were they dressed like the ghost from The Shining?
And I was really angry at the boys. Because the girls said right in the beginning of the tournament, they said, let's just get all the boys out and settle it.
Wow.
And the boys didn't make an alliance. They didn't do anything. And I'm like, what?
See,
and I can't tell them anything.
Boys mature slower than girls do. That's why.
Idiots.
So girls are smarter.
They blatantly said, we're gonna destroy them.
I'm not gonna lie about that. Girls are always smarter until.
So that made me sad, and I cried a little bit after that.
It doesn't really matter. Does it really hurt your feelings if someone wins?
I'm trying to sell it here. No, I don't cry. When it's over, I'm like, whoa, Halloween's almost over.
Yeah. But let's talk about.
But I love it.
But besides this, you're talking about the King of Monster Mountain. Now, King of Monster Mountain is a comic book that you've drawn.
Well, it's
also a board game.
It's a game inside a comic.
Yes.
Yep.
But when you play it at your place, the one that you get with a comic book is only about, well, how big?
It's like if you put 3 comics side by side,
Okay.
cover to cover.
So
that's
it's only
the
about,
size
like,
of the game board.
Say
But
like
it's
3 feet, 3 feet long, maybe.
almost. Yeah. it's
Now the
pretty
one
big.
that you use at the shop when you play,
6 foot by 8 feet.
yeah, so it's way bigger.
Oh, and I can outfit a lot more players.
Yeah, so that's what I'm just trying to convey to people, that it's not just, you're not playing on the small little version. That
No.
big
And honestly, the official tournament has been around longer than the comic game.
Oh,
We've been running the tournament since, I believe, 2009.
well, that's really taken off too.
It's very fun.
Monster Mountain.
It's
That's
become
what I'm saying,
its,
just besides
it's
the-
become its own thing.
Besides the night, but also the actual book itself
It's true.
has taken off at different events we've done lately.
true.
It's been a lot. It's been a hot seller.
We have a lot of fun with it. I just had a new set of books printed up and game boards, so yeah, it holds a special part in our hearts. You know, we always talk about it. You know, and a true sign of it picking up speed and picking up relevance is, I feel like we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so now it's getting to the point where it's up there with Bigger and with Food Fight.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those things.
You said you had returning kids come, and you had new features to show them, and they
Oh yeah,
lost it. They were so excited.
Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And one of our viewers, I actually saw her check in. She was one who played during the adult tournament. She picked up all 3 of those enhancements.
Ah.
So that's something that I'm thinking about adding to the actual game too, as like a little booster card set. So
Like a free download kind of thing.
something.
Like expansion pack.
Yeah. I want it to look like it belongs there. You
Yeah.
know, so glossy card stock,
Ooh.
maybe a couple rule changes, maybe some new character cards. Oops, sorry.
Cool beans.
Yeah. So you know,
So that was your Saturday.
that was Saturday, and then Sunday we had the show,
Yeah.
and that was nice.
Where you met that nice gentleman, Raymond Moore.
Oh yeah, he
Stopped by the booth and talked to us
he
about
was
his
a
book
nice
he was
guy.
drawing.
Yeah, and I hope he
And he
stays
actually
with
had
it.
like a lot of cool, like the stuff he was drawing was really cool.
It was really cool,
Yeah.
and he's self-taught, and it seems like he's just
Sketch
starting to do it.
artist.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
doing it. I like that. I love it when people show me their work and we can talk
Yeah.
about it a little bit. I enjoy that a lot.
Do you not stop by Monday?
No, he did not. Which is probably good. Great segue though. Monday was absolute chaos. So Tim, it was Tim's first great candy swap, right?
Before that, we had Sunday. We had the show, and as always, Scott put on a great show at the
Him
Golden
and-
Gavel.
Greg and Scott do a really good
Yeah,
job.
we had lots of fun.
It's a great venue.
Yeah,
It's a great venue.
former Chester's, now a Golden Gavel auction house.
Yep.
It's good times.
It is a good time.
Next one's in February.
Yes. He's always in February and October.
Yeah,
Valentine's and Halloween.
Halloween. Good place to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Now Monday at the old candy swap.
The great candy swap. It was awesome. Everybody, we drew candy inspired creatures, and then we did the great candy swap for the
I
second
saw your
half.
candy corn.
Yep. A lot of kids. Well, some of the kids dressed up. I would say half.
Most,
And then here's the true sad part. Only one adult really dressed up for the adult jam this year.
Was that Kylie?
No, it wasn't. No.
She had a meeting. That's why.
Well, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Like, but it was funny to have. It was interesting. Like last year, almost 100% of the adults that showed up dressed up. So people are getting busy. Maybe things are going. I don't mean it that way. People have busy
People getting
lives.
busy?
People getting busy. Ain't got time to dress up.
You got time to dress up.
Between that and I'm looking at Todd Zavorkis just joined our live feed, and I thought it said, Todd Zavorkis says, "The hell with you."
Oh, well.
But he just started watching us,
There you
which
go.
is nice. No, but it was good, and I was glad that this young lady dressed up, and we'll push it a little harder.
Then we just gotta remind
Oh God,
people.
that sounds
I just forget.
terrible. I'm really saying a lot of
You
inappropriate
just gotta
things.
remind people. That's all.
We're gonna remind more people.
Yeah. Maybe do a custom contest as well.
incentive.
We'll work harder
Yes.
to make sure
Faster, stronger, better than ever before.
that we dress appropriately.
All right. Well, that's awesome. But now it's time for Q&A.
We're gonna do it. We're doing it. We're jumping into
Where
Q&A.
this is your chance, if you're on our Facebook Live, right now as we're recording the show, where you have a chance to ask Matt anything you would like about comic books.
Oh my goodness, this is not a question. And says Matt sounds a lot like Mr. T. What?
She plays the fool. You don't ask a question.
You don't come here dressed appropriately?
You don't talk about my mama that way.
My mama.
I ain't getting no plane.
Here's
I'm
one-
talking about Hannibal.
here's one
I ain't
for
getting no
mama.
plane.
Remember that big tribute he did to his mama for
Get that crazy guy away from me.
the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Wasn't that
Yes.
awesome?
Yeah.
He got a mama chant. All right, so first question. You ready, boys?
Hannibal, get that crazy man away from me.
Here, I'm going to find your first question.
Okay.
Your first question. Oh, God.
First question.
It's the Flash costume question
Oh, yes.
that we
This came
toyed
up-
with a
this
little
came up
bit
during
on the
break.
Facebook Live, but we're going to
Yes.
address it now. So, boys, this is for you. The Flash costume. What's the deal? Which one is better?
The Flash costume, they're asking which costume is better, the one from the TV show on the CW or the new Justice League version of the Flash costume. I will take the CW version. It is more like the comic book, and I like that one better. I think the one in the Marvel or the DC movie, Justice League, is a little bit too flamboyant and over the top. It's more of like I want to say like a Flash like add-on, like some kind of like
Flash plus 2.
like metal or something kind of
Flashpoint 4.
Yeah, like it would be a side story or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's not doesn't look like like a natural Flash outfit.
Like an alternate
feel that.
timeline.
Looks like one that's
Flash
like
thing?
almost like a like an alternate timeline
Ooh.
slash like something that like was made for him by like Bruce Wayne or something. It's got more of like a
Oh,
metallic
Tim's
lens.
got
Well-
his finger up. That means something.
I do believe it is made by Bruce Wayne
was that how it works in the movie?
in the movie, because he's the one that comes to him and he's like, "Hey, man, Justice League," and he's like, "Yeah, dude." So that's what I think it is.
Do you think he has the generic costume at the beginning,
I doubt it.
or he's just running around really fast?
I think he
in
just
a red T-shirt
runs around really fast. I also have no idea.
and a red hoodie.
But that's cool, though.
I think for the movie, the costume fits in well with everybody else because
Well, he got Cyborg in his metal outfit.
yeah, everybody else is armored and
Yeah.
stuff, and he's just kind of in a spandex suit going fast.
I just hope it's good. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I don't think one is better than the other. I think they convey,
No, they're different.
They
I just-
convey different things about the character.
If you're like going more comic book looking, I like the TV show version. More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Okay.
This is from
Okay.
Jay Miller. Why doesn't your hair look like Tim's? Well,
Tim's one person and Matt's a different person, and genetically, it's impossible for them to have the same kind of hair.
he's got a lot of flow stuff going on over
Yeah. Tim is not a product, whereas Matt's hair is just naturally buoyant.
This takes a solid
there. Buoyant.
Buoyant.
Yeah. It's very
I don't know if
buoyant. You have
that's
like a
buoyant.
pompadour thing going.
I put pompadour.
It does get some
yeah.
air.
It does get air.
Yeah, it's got some heft to it. I, on the other hand, cannot get my hair to go above like this level. It's always been like low and just there.
That's what the product's for.
Get the product.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't have time for
I'm
product.
going to sniff around here for other questions.
Okay.
I
Thank
got
you
time
for
for
those
product.
two. Matt, did you get to read that? What? From Brian Kazaska, this is the guy who hosts the Twin Peaks Unwrapped show.
And he got the preview version of this.
The book just came out today for regular people.
It's a new book.
You know what, Brian?
We'll talk about what this book's about first before you just start yelling at Brian about it.
I'm going to tell you something, mister.
Start getting all Mr. T on it.
This is awesome. This is the follow-up file collection to...
The final dossier, I believe it's called.
Yeah. The book that came out in the beginning of the year was the Secret History of Twin Peaks. And I'm happy to say that Tim now is fully immersed in his intern responsibilities. Elise Parrott, you'll appreciate this. He's watching Twin Peaks. He's actually watching episode by episode now, the new stuff, which is great. I get to watch the new Twin Peaks during lunch. And so the new book, I know that they pre-delivered to a lot of the Amazon subscribers that ordered it. But now it's available to the
Or if you were
counters.
given a copy by the publisher because you're...
Or that, too. Because I heard Mark interviewed Mark Frost either today or...
they're doing it, I believe, Thursday. They might be interviewing
Is it this
Mark
week?
Frost.
pretty cool.
That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. To be able to get that kind of feedback immediately. So, no, Brian, I haven't read it yet. But I'm glad you have. Brian is the host of the Twin Peaks Unwrapped podcast.
He's also the co-host of Geekonomics with me on Mondays. Just had the guys from Paranormal.
That's right. What you guys did
Pioneer
a
Valley
paranormal show.
Paranormal.
Did
They
you
were
s-
on talking about what they do.
Yeah, did he name any buildings that he did any searches in?
He did. I don't remember any of them, but he did. Brian was very into it. Brian's all about that stuff. Brian has experiences from his childhood. That's why he's more into it than I am.
Here's a question. Did you guys dress up for Halloween? This is from Robert Kegler.
Kegs, I did. If you go to my girlfriend's Facebook page.
That's great for all the listeners who know who your girlfriend is.
Well, I'll post it on our Free Lunch Comic News page.
Hey, everybody.
What'd you
night-
dress up
Look
as,
up my
Mark?
girl.
Last night I got a text from my girlfriend. We moved to a new place, and we had no trick-or-treaters, and she was very depressed about it because she was really excited about Halloween. That's one of her favorite holidays. So I stopped on the way home at the local Walgreens in the area and grabbed the cheap Darth Vader mask and lightsaber and trick-or-treated at the house.
Is
as
this
Darth
taking
Vader.
a dirty turn?
No, that's all I did.
Is this a different podcast?
I even played the Imperial March on my cell phone
I still feel like it's
as
taking
I walked
a turn.
up to the door.
Oh
and
my
she was
God.
very excited. She was
This is
very
terrible.
happy.
Just start playing some sexy music.
She was very thankful that
Whoa, yo.
there was no naughty stuff happened whatsoever. It was just, me being a nice guy.
That was too adorable for naughty stuff to not happen afterwards.
Well,
Oh, Tim. Did you dress up, Tim?
No.
Tim's always dressed up as
Tim was
the
working
coolest
on his
guy in the
hair.
room.
Yeah, you know.
Coolest guy in the room. That's what
I
he
was
is.
gonna dress up, but my hair just wasn't cooperating.
He's wearing a scarf and it's only 40 degrees outside.
I got
I'm cold.
I got heckled the other day, Tim, because you weren't in class by
the girls.
The
yeah
young
the
girls.
private students.
The girls were happy.
They were heckling.
Where's Tim? We don't want you.
Oh, Tim's not here. We're upset.
Where's new Matt? Heard of old
New
Matt?
man.
New Matt. That's terrible.
How about you, Matt? Did you dress up at all? I know you just scared your children. that
I
you're
had a
telling us.
skull mask that I was rocking throughout the day
Yeah.
at different points. So I would wear it during the kids' jam a little bit, and then
Ghost Rider.
kind of, but with the spiral horns on the side.
Ah.
And then
a good demon.
when we were hosting the party for the kids, I had my hoodie sweatshirt, and I would put the hood on so kids couldn't tell, and then I would turn around and
Scared them.
scare the crap out of them.
I had a costume planned with my girlfriend. We were gonna go as these two characters.
Who was that going to be?
Tom.
Aquaman?
I was gonna
Aquaman and Aquagirl?
No, that's next year. I
Gonna walk around with a.
I was
like a-
Tombo and she was Kiki
Who are Tombo and
from Studio Ghibli production.
Oh.
Yeah,
What happened? She backed out?
I was sick, so
Oh. How convenient.
yeah.
Any
Look
other
at that.
questions?
We've got a question from Rocky telling me to shut up.
Oh. Nice, Rock. Thanks.
Thanks, Rocky, for
Appreciate you
tuning in.
listening.
Solid
show.
feedback from the Facebook
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for trolling.
We've got Ange jumping in. Flash looks lumpy in the movie trailer.
Yes, and he looks like he mumbles a lot too, but whatever.
Well, he talks really fast, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Shouldn't he talk fast?
I guess so.
I don't like the acting.
I don't know.
He was
I
the
don't want to
kid.
go too deep down the rabbit hole, but I don't
Yeah.
like,
He was the
he's just
kid in
annoying.
We don't do
Fantastic
movies, just
Beasts, right?
Was he?
No,
I thought he was. I thought he was like the monster kid, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I fell asleep there in that movie in the theater.
Oh, you're talking about the kid who was the. Yes, you were correct.
It was the kid.
He was the kid that was the one that was the ghost monster.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you were correct.
Yeah.
He's got a very punchable
Yeah.
face.
Oh God.
He does have a very punchable
I
face.
said it.
You
Even
did it.
during
Mark
Fantastic
agrees.
Beasts, I said that. I go, that
Yeah.
looks like a guy I want to punch in the face for a lot of times. And then he popped up on the Justice League thing. I'm like, well, now I really want to punch him in the face because he's in a DC movie.
So we'll be broadcasting
And
an
Twitter one, Rocky's
anti-violence
telling me
number.
to shut up because I'm talking about DC.
But why me? I didn't say anything bad about DC.
No,
did
he
I?
just gets amped and he just can't control himself.
Yep.
I love it. We have our own heckler.
Yeah,
That's a
whatever.
good sign.
Go back to doing nothing. Go back to watching bad DC
Yes,
movies.
he was. What is? I don't know what Josh is saying.
Talking about Ezra Miller. and
Yeah, Ezra Miller was
Fantastic Beasts.
That's
in
his name.
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
He's in the room next to us researching for us. Our research department,
Yeah.
located in Walla Walla, Washington.
Well, he needs to do a better job because this is,
All right, well
Six
that's
pieces of paper.
that's it for Q&A.
That's it
time.
for story time. We'll come back with the free lunch menu.
Oh no, we got the comic watch next, but thanks anyways.
Oh dang! Well, I don't know about that.
We gotta speed it up here.
All right, so we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back, and I'll be back with a little information about the guys from Geekonomics. It is the free lunch comic news.
Thanks for the questions, everybody.
Geekonomics with Mark and Brian, a weekly nerd podcast. Talk about all sorts of stuff covering all of nerddom. Brian, what else? What is the main things we talk about on our show? List them off, Brian.
Movies, comics, TV shows, music, video games,
anything, big things every week. Talking about big topics, big nerd stuff. It is Geekonomics.
Twin Peaks Unwrapped, hosted by Ben and Brian. If you love Twin Peaks The Return, Fire Walk With Me, or anything that originates from the dark and twisted mind of David Lynch, you will love Twin Peaks Unwrapped, a weekly podcast show that usually airs on Wednesdays. This week it was a little early. That reviews current Twin Peaks episodes and past projects, including their books, fan magazines, actors, producers, you name it. Twin Peaks Unwrapped. You can find it on iTunes, Podbean, and Facebook. That is Twin Peaks Unwrapped, my favorite podcast program, hosted by Ben and Brian.
The Free Lunch Comic News. It's time for another fun part of the show. We tell you what books we think you should be checking out that are out this week. It's time for the Comic Watch.
All right. Well, if you were at your local comic shop this past weekend, you were there for the Halloween free comic festival.
Yes.
That most of the shops, I would think, nationwide were taking part in. It was sponsored by Stranger Things, the sequel series,
which was fantastic.
So first you had those little mini comics, which were pretty exciting. The Hulk returning to Scar, the Planet Hulk storyline, is starting to show up again on stands. Very excited about that. I picked up the first issue, and I really liked it so far. The tough thing about reading that is it's probably going to be another big story. The Thor Archie Digest has hit the stands, which I really like a lot.
Oh, I read through it. It was really good.
You read all of it? There's a lot of content in there, so it's pretty awesome. The Wonder Woman Conan crossover is continuing. The second issue just hit the stands a couple weeks ago, and I'm trying to think I gave it away at the King of Monster Mountain tournament, the Batman White Knight. Man, that's a really cool book.
That's Joker as a good guy, right?
Yeah, so it's really gorgeously drawn by written and drawn by Sean Murphy, who did the Wake. He was the artist on the Wake. Very, very talented artist. I know Marvel's doing a lot of those lenticular covers right now. I think a lot of people are going nuts for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, the Twin Peaks, the final dossier there. I would think that's something to be excited about, but I don't think that's going to show up in many comic stores. So for you guys that are picking up graphic novels over at Barnes & Noble when they come out, you would see that there. So that kind of gets my big shout out. Other than that, that's it for me. Those three, right? The freebies and those. I know that one of the freebies that Marvel put out was the Walter Simonson Thor Hela book, which was really, really good. I think it was reprinting Thor number 453, maybe? Wow. God, if I got that right, that would be awesome.
That's impressive if you did.
So there you have it. Those are my picks. What do you got, Mark?
Actually, Tim's got a pick he's going to tell us.
Oh, he does?
Talk about Aquaman number 29.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on the whole Aquaman series, but I'm all about supporting Aquaman because he is greatly underappreciated. There's a really cool cover that I'm looking at right here by, how do you say that? Stephen Sejic?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Let me check.
Yeah.
Let me look at with my glasses here.
Yeah. Coming with two variant covers.
Jeez, I have no idea.
One other
Sejic,
cover.
though.
Excuse me.
Wow, that's
you
a
show the
tough
folks
first
in
name.
Facebook Live Land if you want one.
But the variant cover is Josh Middleton. There you go.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's what I got. Aquaman. is my go-to.
Nice.
Take a look at that so people on the
Oh yeah.
Facebook Live
Oh yeah.
can see it.
Here, I'll hold that up for the Facebook.
Perks
friends.
of Facebook Live viewing.
It's dark, but
We
you
show
can
you
see it.
things.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's pretty cool.
It's on the shelves right now.
So another stuff, since I'll take over from here, since you guys have already done yours. First thing I would talk about, I saw a couple of these toys at the show on Sunday,
Ooh, a toy?
and it made me think about how awesome the comic was,
Oh.
the cartoon was back in the day. And it's Mask, First Strike #1. Writer is Aubrey Sitterson. Artist is Elias Curiasis. Sure, why not?
Curious.
Curiasis is immaculate. Covers by Drew Johnson, Elias, like we said before, and Humberto Ramos.
Oh.
Venom's showdown with the G.I. Joe team continues as transforming vehicles, robotic ninjas, and explosions threaten to bring their mission to a deadly end. Tying to the events of First Strike, a Hasbro comic book event, the second part of G.I. Joe and Mask's story continued from last month's G.I. Joe First Strike #1. It is Mask, the Mobile Armored Strike Command. And they got a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. I used to love that cartoon back in the day.
I know a couple of our listeners actually really enjoy that series, that First Strike crossover.
I heard it's a very
series.
big thing. I've heard it's very popular. Speaking of cartoons I loved back in the day, Voltron, Legendary Defender. 2 issues of Voltron Legendary Defender are out this month. The Pilgrimage Part 1, Voltron Legendary Defender returns. Voltron responds to a distress call and discovers a group of alien settlers on a mining planet under attack by the Galra. Sure. But the attempted rescue is only the beginning of a more exciting Voltron adventures from Tim Hedrick and Mitch Iverson, writers on the hit DreamWorks series on Netflix. So that book is out. There's 2 of those out. I'll be out in the coming days and weeks, so you can check those out.
And one more, Mark. You got one more cherry
more?
pick? Yep.
I got 3 more.
I'm sorry, one more. We gotta move on.
Okay, hold on.
He's gonna pick a very special one. Very, very
I am.
special.
Punisher, the Platoon.
This was on his comic pick from last
Yes,
month.
Punisher, the Platoon, #1 and 2 of 6.
Prior episode.
Gareth Ennis is the writer. Goran Parlov is the artist and colorist. Variant covers by Steve McNiven and Andy Brass. A How to Draw variant cover by Chip Zdarsky.
Yep.
Variant cover by Scott Heparin. By the time the Punisher was born in Vietnam, Frank Castle had already become a dark legend in the battlefield. Stories about him were told in whispers, if at all. Now the legendary Punisher team of Garth Ennis and Goran Parlov of Punisher Max Fury Max fame brings the first of those stories to light, the tale of Frank Castle's first command and his first kill. Don't miss this epic new series, 32 pages. It is out now.
Yeah, and it looks like you got 2 issues that are hitting the stands at the same time.
Yes, 1 and 2 of 6.
So you're getting 2 books a month. I love that.
That's
Yes.
cool.
That's it, Mark. No more. Gotta
That's
pull
it.
the plug.
All right. Also, Darth Vader #6, he meets the Inquisitors, which I'm excited about. Darth
That's
Vader
good.
meeting the Inquisitors is going to be an epic.
So thank
book,
you.
So check those out.
Thank
as
you,
well.
everybody, for tuning in. I wanna say thank you to Mark and to Tim for
Yes.
being here today to help in putting this show together.
No
if you have
problem.
anything you want to find out about Free Lunch Comics, you can go to freelunchcomics.com. You can find Free Lunch Studios on Facebook. You
Yes.
can find this podcast on Podbean. You can find it on Free Lunch Studios Facebook page. You can find it on the Free Lunch Comic News Facebook page. Oh my God, it's on the Free Lunch Studios YouTube page. You can send any of us an email or hit us through our Twitter.
Or we're on Free Lunch Comic News is on Facebook. Is also on Twitter and is on, like you said, YouTube. So you can hit
Yeah,
any
all
of
those
places.
things.
And you can get us anything you want. Any questions? We will be in Albany this Sunday. Matt and I, not working. We'll be actually roaming the aisles, just hanging out.
I'll be working.
So, well, I know
He'll
we'll
be
be
walking
working,
around.
but you know what I mean. We don't have a booth. I'm saying.
And if you're going to that writers conference down in Bethany, we're going to be there too.
Yeah. So check that out.
All right. So thank
All
you
that
very
and
much,
more.
everybody.
And, if you have any questions about where Free Lunch is going to be, give us a shout or check out the webpage and you can check it out. We're sorry to get a chance to get to the menu this week, but
No worries.
as always, Free Lunch is very busy and Matt has to go teach someone how to draw. So we can't talk anymore.
Thanks to all the Facebook viewers. Bye, everybody.
Yes, bye, everybody. See you all
Guys,
next time
see
for
y'all
the Free
later.
Lunch
Bye-bye.
Comic Book News.